Hi, this is Phil Frost from Main Street ROI. In this video series, I'm going to walk through the 10 steps to create a profitable Google AdWords campaign. These are the same steps we've used to manage millions of dollars in advertising to generate tens of thousands of leads and millions of dollars in sales. Here's what we're going to cover. I'll reveal 3 questions you must ask before you even start advertising. I'll show you the #1 biggest mistake to avoid, the secret to paying less per click than all of your competitors, 5 ways to track the profitability of your advertising so you can calculate your return on investment, and how to double your sales without increasing your budget. Now before we get started, you're probably wondering, who am I and why should you listen to me? Again, my name is Phil Frost and I'm the founder of Main Street ROI. Our business provides digital marketing services as well as training like this training you're listening to. To date, we've managed over $10 million in ad spend, and my thought leadership in this industry has been featured in Forbes, Inc., Amex, as well as Mashable. And I'm also the very proud father of these 2 cute kids. That's Violet on the left, she's just over 3.5, and that's my 1-year-old son on the right, that's Emmett, and my beautiful wife, Erin. Alright, let's dive in. So the first question is, why Google AdWords? There's a lot of options out there to advertise your business, and I would argue that Google AdWords is the best option available. The first reason is that it's less risky, and that's because you pay as you go. You don't have to lay out a big amount of money, no upfront fees. You can actually get started with no money and just literally pay as you go, as little as $5 just to get started. It's also extremely targeted advertising. That's especially the case with search advertising, when your prospects are literally searching for your products and services. There are people going to Google right now searching for your products and services, and you have the ability to show your ad right at the top of Google and get them to your site where you can convert them into a lead or a sale. And it's also fully measurable. You'll know exactly how many times your ads were displayed, how many people clicked on your ads, and then ultimately how many of those clicks turned into leads and sales. You can measure that full sales funnel from ad display all the way through to the sale. And finally, if you're wondering why Google versus any of the other search engines like Bing or Yahoo, well, Google has the largest search market share. So it makes sense to start with Google, get a campaign working there, and then expand to Bing and Yahoo. Okay, let's dive into the 10 steps to create a profitable Google AdWords campaign. Step #1 is to create your plan of attack. Okay, so the first question, this is going to sound simple, but you have to determine, what are you going to sell? For many businesses, you'll have lots of products and different services, and you really want to pinpoint which one are you going to focus on with your ad campaign. And this will determine the keyword research that we'll talk about later on, as well as what kind of offers you can make to promote this product or service. So this is step 1. Just figure out which of your products or services you want to focus on with the ad campaign. And step #2 is to figure out how many customers you want for that product or service on a monthly basis. And that's probably going to be based on your constraints, how many products you have in inventory that you can fulfill, and with a services business, how many new clients can you really bring on a monthly basis. And from a lead generations perspective, how many phone calls can you really handle with your sales team? How many new prospects can you handle on a monthly basis? And the third question is, how much can you afford to pay to bring in a new customer for this product or service? And more specifically, how much can you pay per click? Because with Google AdWords, we'll be paying per click to drive traffic to your website. And we need to make sure that that will be a profitable advertisement based on the profit that you make for those particular customers. So we want to use this formula here to determine your maximum cost per click, or your max CPC, and that's based on your profit per customer, so how much profit you generate for that product or service, multiplied by your website conversion rate, And if you're not sure what that is, typical conversion rates are around 1%, 2%, and on the high end, 5%. And then you need to determine what profit margin you're comfortable with for your ad campaign. And that might be 25%, it might be 30%, 50%. Whatever you're comfortable with, you want to use that in this formula. So here's an example. I'm going to say that your profit per customer is $500, and let's say your conversion rate is 2%, and you want to achieve a 30% profit margin on your ad campaign. When you plug those numbers in and multiply those up, you'll determine that your maximum cost per click is $7 per click. That means that you can bid and pay $7 per click in Google AdWords to drive traffic to your website. And if your conversion rate holds true at 2% and you maintain a $500 profit per customer, then you will achieve your 30% profit margin on your ad campaign. And this is a really critical number to figure out early on, because different keywords are going to cost different amounts, and we'll use a tool in the next step to figure out how much the keywords are going to cost. And if you know that your maximum cost per click is $7, that will determine which keywords you can afford to bid on and which ones might be just out of your budget. All right, once you've run those numbers, it's time to attract your ideal customer. And with Google AdWords, we're talking about keyword research to figure out what your ideal customers are searching. This is a three-step process. First, you want to build your initial list or your seed list. That's going to be really your most obvious keywords. So if you are a dentist, that's going to be people searching for dentist and your location. For example, New York City dentist, dental office, dental services, whatever those obvious keywords are. Put those into the keyword planner tool, and this tool will act like a thesaurus. It will give you data on the keywords you put into the tool, and it will also show you additional keywords that you might never have thought of. So it's a great tool to build that keyword list and also see how many times those keywords are searched every month, as well as how much you will likely pay per click. In addition to doing your initial research, I also recommend you leverage your competitors' data as well. So you have lots of competitors who are advertising, and they may have been advertising for years now, in which case they've likely done a lot of testing and possibly spent thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to do those tests. And you can take a nice shortcut and look at what they've done, and then make sure you're targeting the keywords that have worked well for your competitors. The tool I would recommend is called spyfood.com. You simply put your competitor's domain name in that tool, and SpyFood will show you which keywords they're advertising on, for how long they've been advertising, as well as the ad copy. And the third step is to select and group your keywords. And I recommend you select what I call buying intent keywords. Those are the keywords where it's likely that the prospect is looking to make a purchase versus just doing research. So again, with the dentist example, someone searching how to get whiter teeth is relevant, but at the same time it's more of a research intent type keyword. That person is not really looking to go to the dentist, they're just looking for information about how to get whiter teeth, versus somebody searching for New York City dentist, that it's pretty obvious that person is looking to make an appointment with a dental office in New York City. All right, step 3, there are going to be a lot of competitors, and when it comes to advertising, you absolutely need to stand out from the competition. And what we're talking about here is your USP, or your unique selling proposition, and that answers the question, why should your prospect choose to do business with you versus every other option available? All right, here are 3 steps to create your USP. First, I recommend you analyze your competitors. So when you found those keywords, when you're doing your keyword research, you then just go to Google, type those keywords into Google search, and see who else is advertising. And then I just copy those ads and I like to put them in a spreadsheet, and then you have a list of all of the top competitors and what they're using in their ad copy to really stand out. Then it's a matter of identifying how you can be different, or in other words, identify the differentiating factors for you to stand out and be the number one advertiser. So you might find that all of the competitors, or lots of the competitors, are emphasizing speed, or they're emphasizing the lowest cost. So can you come in with a different message and really stand out from the crowd? And then finally, you need to actually create your USP and then refine it over time. And what that means is you're going to test different messages. And we'll talk about creating your ad copy later on, and you'll want to test different unique selling propositions in your ad copy to see what resonates best with your target audience. All right, step 4 is to create your irresistible offer. And there are really 4 components to a great offer. First is to have a defined value. And this is really important, especially if your offer is going to be something along the lines of a free consultation or a free demo, especially if you're doing some type of lead generation. You want to try to have try to define exactly how much that is worth. So if you're having an hour free consultation, what do you normally charge per hour? That's the value of that free consultation, and that will increase the perceived value when you present that as your offer. Second, you want to have a reason for your offer, and that's because everyone is extremely skeptical online. When you see an irresistible offer, most prospects will be thinking, this is too good to be true. There's probably a catch. And you can get over that skepticism with a realistic reason for that offer. So that might be the fact that it's a holiday. It might be that it's a special deal only for first-time buyers. Whatever it is, try to highlight the reason for the offer just to make it more legitimate. The third component is a risk reversal, and that's typically a guarantee. So if you can guarantee satisfaction, you can guarantee speed of delivery, that's going to reduce the risk for the prospect and that make them more likely to want to click on your ad and convert as a customer. And finally, all great offers are going to have a call to action. So what is the next step to do business with you? That might be to place a phone call, complete a form, complete an application, or go into your store or office. Whatever it is, you have to explicitly say that as part of the details of the offer. All right, now that you have your offer, it's time to create your magnetic ads. And we call them magnetic ads because they attract your ideal prospects, and in some cases they actually repel unqualified leads. Here's something that you might not be aware of. With Google AdWords and the way it works, if you have really good ad copy, you'll not only drive more traffic, more sales, but you'll also reduce your costs with your ad campaign. So a higher click-through rate, CTR, is going to lead to more traffic to your website. More qualified traffic is going to lead to more sales. That's obvious. And what's not so obvious is that the higher click-through rate will lead to lower cost per click. And that's because click-through rate is one of the biggest factors in what's called your AdWords quality score. And your quality score is what then determines your cost per click. So if you have a better quality score, that will then lead to lower costs in Google AdWords. Okay, so how do you create magnetic ads? There's 4 components. First is relevance. You want your ads to be extremely relevant for the keyword that was searched. And you can really do that simply by putting the keyword right in the ad copy, ideally in the headline of the ad. Then you want your ads to be benefit focused. And really that comes down to answering the question, what's in it for me? Every prospect, when they're reading your ads, are thinking, what's in it for me? How is this product or service going to benefit me? Then you also want your ads to be specific, and ideally you're calling out to exactly who you want to do business with. And as I mentioned before, that can be a matter of excluding certain people. A great example to use is anyone in the financial planning industry, where you might work with people who have maybe over $1 million to invest. So that might be the minimum bar. And if you put that in your ad copy, then you're less likely to get people clicking and calling you who don't have that $1 million that you want to do business with. And finally, we mentioned this before, you need to have a call to action in your ads. And typically that's going to be to learn more. You want them to click to learn more. You could have the ultimate call to action. Maybe it's to call or visit the store, whatever it is you want them to do. Include that in the ad because that will lead to higher click-through rates and higher conversion rates. Okay, now on to step 6. Once you get clicks on your ads, you actually have to turn those clicks into customers, and that's what leads us to your landing page. That's where you convert the visitors into leads and sales. And earlier, I mentioned that I would reveal how to double your sales without increasing your budget, and this is actually related to your landing page. The way you do it is you double your landing page conversion rates. If you can improve the conversion rates of your landing page, then you will double your sales without any additional investment in your Google Ads advertising. And I also mentioned the #1 AdWords mistake, and that is to use your home page as the landing page. That is not a good idea. Most home pages talk about everything that you do. They talk about all your products, all your different services, and that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do on your landing page. With Google AdWords, you're pinpointing exactly who you want to target based on what they're searching, and you're displaying a very focused and relevant ad to those prospects. And then when they click on your ad, you don't want to send them to a home page that talks about everything you do. You want to keep that congruence and send them to a landing page that is 100% relevant to the ad that they clicked on and the keyword that they searched. So what makes a great landing page? We'll talk about 3 ingredients here. The first is to focus on just one thing, and that one thing that you want your prospect to do on your page. And you want it to be extremely obvious what you want your prospect to do. And the test here is to literally get up from your chair, walk about 6 feet away from your computer, and then see if it's obvious what you're supposed to do on the page. And if it's not, you probably have to increase the font size. You might have to make the buttons bigger, maybe change the layout of the site so that more of the page is visible. Whatever it is, you want to make that extremely obvious for the visitor, because studies show you only have about 3 seconds to get a new visitor engaged on your site, or else they'll just click the back button and go to one of your competitors. And the third ingredient is a good reason to act right now. Our natural human instinct is to procrastinate, and that's going to be most people that come to your site are going to want to procrastinate. They'll think they'll do it tomorrow. They'll make a note to do it tonight or next week. So you need to have a compelling reason to get them to take action right at that moment when they're on your website. And that could be maybe with a limited time offer. You might want to say that only X number of people will get that particular offer. Whatever it is that you can do to overcome that procrastination and get them to act now. Okay, step 7 is to track your success. And here's why conversion tracking is so critical. There's 2 reasons. First, it allows you to measure your ROI, or return on investment. And second, it allows you to optimize to improve your ROI. So even if you have a campaign that's profitable, you know it's working, it's driving leads and sales, you want to obviously improve that performance, drive maybe the same amount of leads for half the cost. That would be huge. Or double the amount of leads for the same cost. So the way you do that is you increase the bids on the high performing keywords. You can decrease the bids on the low performing keywords, or even pause them. And you can also reallocate your ad budget to what's working so that you're not investing your budget or wasting your budget on campaigns or keywords that are not working. And we actually worked with a client where we were able to boost their profitability 50%, and all we did was install the proper tracking so that they could see exactly how many leads and sales they were getting from these campaigns. And once we did that, we saw that they were losing a lot of money in a particular campaign. So we took that budget, reallocated that to the campaigns that were working, and again, that alone boosted the profitability by 50%. With Google AdWords, you have 5 conversion tracking options. You can track web form submissions, you can track online sales or e-commerce sales, you can track calls from the website, and these are calls that came in from your Google AdWords ads. You can track the calls that come straight from the ads. And you can also track offline sales. And by that, I mean, so if let's say you're generating leads, people are completing a form on your site to, let's say, request a demo, request a quote, whatever it is, you can have that form submit a unique code, and then let's say your sales team takes a month or two to close that sale. Then you can take that unique code, import that into Google AdWords, and AdWords will match that unique code to the actual ad and keyword that was searched. And that's an extremely valuable tool for businesses that have offline sales, either via phone calls or in-person visits. In step 8, you actually need to structure your AdWords account properly. And here's a basic overview of how to structure an account. At the very top is the account that you have. You can then create multiple campaigns, and then each campaign can have a different budget. So you really control your budgets at what's called the campaign level. And that's really important. That's when we talked about reallocating budgets, that would be allocating, changing budgets at the campaign level. Within a campaign, you can have multiple ad groups, and ad groups are made up of keywords and ads. So each ad group has a set of keywords and corresponding ads that will be displayed for those keywords. And it's very, very important that you have ad groups made up of similar keyword phrases, because that allows you to have ads that are all relevant for those keywords. If you remember when we were talking about how to create magnetic ads, one of the first component there was a relevant ad copy to the keywords, and we want to actually put the keyword in the ad headline or in the description lines. And the only way you can do that is if your ad groups all contain keywords of similar phrases. All right, so here's a recap of what we've covered so far. We talked about creating your plan of attack, then customer and keyword research, creating your USP or unique selling proposition, creating your irresistible offer, creating your magnetic ads, turning clicks into customers on your landing pages, tracking your success, structuring your AdWords account properly. And what we have not covered yet, step 9 is optimizing your campaign once your ads go live, and then expanding your campaigns to get additional reach. In step 9 and 10, we're actually going to cover that in the second video of this video series. And if you want additional help, I want to let you know about a new class that we're about to launch in August. This is a new in-depth class called AdWords Mastery. It's going to be 4 live step-by-step training tutorials. During these tutorials, we're going to have live account reviews and optimizations. And at the end of each tutorial, we're going to have live Q&A. And during that live Q&A, we'll be able to jump into to any of the accounts and do live demos. Now, if you're interested, you can learn more and register for AdWords Mastery simply by clicking the button below this video. And I hope you got some value out of this video, and most importantly, I hope you'll take action to improve your AdWords performance. And remember, This is part 1 of a 2-part video series, so be on the lookout for the second video in the next few days. Alright, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.